All right. Happy Sunday afternoon. Today is Sunday, April 12th, 2026. It's 5:48 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Welcome to Big Happy Trading. I don't have anyone on here, but I know this is going to be recorded, so I still want to give some narration of my prep for the Asian Open following the Fridays. All right, let me get everything set up here. Okay. So on the screen here, what I always like to point out here, what I do is I mark out the highs and lows of the past markets. And to me, these are really key levels here that we're looking at. So the New York high on Friday was pre-market. Actually, it was pre-market high at 8:30 a.m. We had a high of 68.89. I'm calling it New York, but it's actually not the New York. So we had a 68.89. And then this thing, I felt very, very, very strong that this was going to be strong resistance here, and I was not wrong here. So I shorted this, and I covered that in my video. I was trading live on Friday. I didn't start streaming early because I'm just figuring out how to do this streaming thing. But Friday, just a quick recap here. I went short at 68.73, at 68, yeah, 68.73, and I took 20 points out of the market down to here. Could have stayed in and taken, I believe, 5 more points, but we had a good trade. We had 4 contracts, and we had a very good trade. Excuse me. The uh, the way I prep, the way I market prep. For those of you who don't know, I really trade one strategy, and I'll do, and that's the 920 EMA Cross. So this is a strategy of patience sometimes, but a highly, highly, highly effective strategy. If you do if you do things right, then um, this is extremely good strategy, especially for newbies and people who are not experienced. But even if you are an experienced trader, there are huge traders that use this strategy. Some people call it a hitchhiker strategy because once the 9 crosses the 20, you'll see it just kind of hitchhikes. The price just hitchhikes. If it's going down, it just hitchhikes down. So I like that it's called a hitchhike strategy. That's not a bad thing. But the other thing I do like is the on this strategy is once the trend starts going, you've got very strict rules on getting in, getting out, placing your stops. But we'll talk about that more in detail. But let's talk about the market that's opening in 8 minutes. So, and I'm going to share a very valuable tool that I use. I think I shared this in previous videos. I'm going to share it again. That I do not listen to other talking heads, squawk boxes, get other people's. When I start getting other people's opinion, it kind of muddies the water for me. And then I start thinking about their opinion, and then I don't look at my own strategy. So I really don't do that anymore. I was doing it, but I no longer do that. So what I do now, a very cool tool, and I really just started using it full time about a week ago, is let me go back to this thing on the left here. So I've got multiple screens on my computer. You're only going to see my main screen, which is evaluating for TradingView. I've got Ninja Trader that I'm trading a smaller account, and I'm actually doing that to show how you can grow a small account. And Trade Station is the other one that I use. You will hear call outs from the Ninja Trader, whatever trades I make. So whether I do an order entry, profit take, stop loss hit, whatever, you'll actually hear that live. But before we start, I wanted to share up here. You'll see I have a bias. Some people think maybe you shouldn't have a bias. I mean, I always start with a bias, but the chart's going to tell me what I need to do. If I'm going to, my rules are going to tell me what I'm going to do. So the 920 EMA Cross, when the 9, which is the blue line, crosses the fat line, and again, I have the fancy one where it's green going up and red going down. The 4 indicators I have is the 9 is the 9, the thick line is the 20, the white line is the VWAP, and the CCI. That's the only 4 indicators that I use for trading this, and that's it. So keep it real simple, real clean. Complexity is the thief of success, especially when trading. When you got to click buttons fast, then you need to do that. But my bias here on the open is I'm biased. I'm bearish today. We closed on Friday at 68.63 and the high is 68.89. So what are we, 30 points from, 25 points, 26 points from the high. So we're near the top of the range, and I'm going to show you what I use and why I think that we are going to be bearish. And I may click buttons fast on the open to get at least a starter position going short. And I don't normally fire cannonballs right off the opens, but I am strongly trying to figure out what on earth can be conveyed as positive. Here's a tool that I use, and I really suggest that you guys use this tool. It's extremely cool tool. And sorry, my voice, I was screaming at my kids, not screaming bad, we were having fun and playing, so I was screaming. But let me share this tool real quick. Give me just a minute. I got to send a message to a couple of my other people who are messaging me. All right. So this tool I'm using, which is extremely cool, it's called Financial Juice. I've used Squawk Boxes in the past. The Squawk Box is where the guy just kind of talks to you and tells you what's going on. You can see we're streaming here. I like this, and I tested it, the free version, for a while, but you've got to have the paid version to get live data. But what I love about this, there is a live human being here. You can see the stream. You can see the streaming up here. So there is a live human being that's going to be firing out information to you, and he's going to be telling you, hey, this is what's happening. If the market's going up, it's going down, he's going to tell you real information here. But look at all of these most recent posts. Iran's foreign minister engaged U.S. in good faith to end war. There's no good information here, and they'll put the red stuff. Blockade will be enforced impartially against all vessels entering or leaving Iranian ports and Arabian Gulf. Forces will start blockade of all maritime traffic entering exit Iranian ports on Monday. This is not good. I can't see anything. I think Vance's door for diplomacy with Iran remains open, but this is despite defiant statements from the U.S. within days. So Vance is left. He's got on a plane and left. So with no deal. So, and I read somewhere else, I don't know if it was on here. Anyway, this is a fantastic tool, you guys. If you've not used this, If Trump puts a tweet out or something, it comes up immediately. This guy will tell you Trump sent a tweet. I got one place for all my news. There's a dude in my ear. I keep this on the other screen. If something happens, then this guy will chime up and go this. All your red folder news, and I used to use Finvez and some other places. All your red news will come up here, and he'll give you a countdown: 10, 9, 8, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And here's the news. So if it's like on CPI data on Friday, um, and here's some news earlier today. If Trump acts against the straight arm rules, he'll lose Baba Model Strait, and 5 to 6% of global seaborne traded petroleum transits through that strait. So I mean, I've scrolled through this prior to logging on. I don't see anything that looks positive to me news for us to have. And this was earlier today. Military vessels approaching Strait of Hormuz will be considered ceasefire breach and will be dealt with strong. There's just, I know they're all posturing, but I can't see how we're going to rip above all-time highs. Look at the market just tanked. Just absolutely tanked as I anticipated. Bam. I just dropped a quick short, guys. And again, I'm talking about building position. This thing fell off a cliff. And it may climb back up here, but I don't mind building a small position. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong on this one. Look at that dump. Yeah, this couldn't be any good news. I mean, this is, I don't even want to be right about this stuff, So it dropped below. Friday's low just got obliterated. And the strong support from April 9th got supported. So put in one small contract here, but this is not any good news on this one. Now I'm gonna watch this closer. Now trading our strategy, let's pull up so we have a 1 minute. This is typically how I structure my charts, guys. So I've got the 1 minute chart and the 5 minute chart. So when you get this kind of news and this kind of gap down, that's not good. That's not good at all. So damn, look at this. I gotta show up the screen here so we can see where the heck the price is. Okay, so we got it shot down. It shot down. I got in. I gotta mark on here where I'm at. And again, guys, this is not trading my normal strategy where I would bet on news, but we're 2 minutes in, and I will take this thing goes down. I will just take a quick bit of profit and see where this goes. But this thing fired down with the 67.72. Yeah, that's what kind of drop is that? That was 68. That's an 85. Yeah, that's a 90-point drop. It's humongous. But this can't be, nothing about this can be good. Construed as good. All right, but I'm not going to trade. So looks like we made base here. I think we're going to go lower, and I'm going to have to look at some. And again, I do not recommend that you do what I did. Okay, I got in here at Once I get in here, I'm in at 67.93 short. So let me mark that. So I'm short at 67.93. And this is aggressive, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. But let's go here. And again, I always put a 10-point stop. So if this thing goes up, then I would be cooked. And I'm in like one contract. If it cooks me, it cooks me. I'm not that worried about one contract. But looking at this, based on news, and now we'll start looking at our strategy, guys, because right now it's starting to go in my favor. We're not up much. We're up a few points. And if you recall my rules, when I get up 10 points, I will move my stops to break even. Now the Asia session typically moves much slower, but given that we've got all this kind of weird news and everything going on, I don't know, man. I don't know. This is crazy town. So I'm gonna look on my other chart for some stronger support zones besides that, since we've already blown through. Let's go. I'm looking at my other chart, guys. I don't want to muddy this one up. So, I mean, I think we could hit from April 8th, which is Wednesday. I mean, we may come down to the 67 range, something like that. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. It's kind of basing here. I can't see if there's any news that's going to make this thing rip north, but whether the market can stay
Victory Giant
crazy.
Technology Wajo maximum offer price 209.88 for H share in global offering.
All right, that's this guy. You'll see Victory Giant Technology. He'll just kind of drop news that's happening. This is the Asian market open, so he's dropping information about the Asian market. If you're trading the Asian
Victory
market,
Giant Technology Wajo County number of offer shares under global offering 83.3 million H shares.
okay. I like that everyone knows, so I'm clear on what I'm doing here. I am short. Let's make this
Victory Giant Technology Wajo number of Hong Kong offer shares 8.3 million H shares in global offering.
short at 67.93. And if you're just trading the 920, which is my primary strategy here, you can see the 9 is so far away from the 20. I mean, technically, what you probably would wait for is you would wait for a retrace back to, back at least back the price to come back to the 9. So we would be in the 67.95 range, something like that. If you believe this was going short. Now, when you got a lot of volatility on this one, I would be careful. I would let this market settle for 15, 30 minutes and see what we're going to do. I can't imagine that we're going to get a rip north here, but Again, I'm taking a calculated risk based on some news, and based on Friday was mostly bearish. The late afternoon, we had in the late afternoon on Friday, it grinded up here. So this was Friday at 4:15 after market close. It kind of was just grinding up here. It wasn't getting serious about wanting to be. Um, it wasn't serious about wanting to go up on Friday. And again, I was short. I was mainly short. They may want to go up. I don't know. This thing dropped pretty hard. So we'll see. I don't. It just doesn't look like. I don't think there could be any serious. But with that big a drop, they might try to close half this gap. So I will. I'm gonna watch this closely. I'm not gonna get myself hurt on this. Again, as you guys have seen my videos, number one rule is capital preservation. Oh, thank you. I heated the tea up. Thank you, thank you.
Boiling hot.
Oh, okay. My wife just delivered my boiling hot tea. Boiling hot. This might be a good time to talk about my the only other strategy I use a reversal strategy. Now I would not think about this thing reversing this early, but it could. And a reversal strategy is when we get a big hammer wick candle down here with pushing up like this did. I typically like to see on the 5 minute, and then I like to see the 1 minute really start to move up and up. This is moving sideways. I don't think this is really going to be a very strong push up. Now, we may be a slow grind up, which could be painful, if you're in a short here. But again, I'm not going to let this thing get away from me at all here. I took a flyer. I was talking to you guys when I clicked the button. If I would have clicked the button the minute the market opened, I would have gotten maybe a few points better. But I mean, if I'm going to be right, I'm going to be right. And I think the market's in shock here. That's a pretty big. The Asia session to drop 90 points. That is just not usual at all. Is that what I marked? Did I mark that at 90 points? I think that's what it was. We were 68, something like this, 86, 63. I think that's where we closed on Friday. And then, yeah, 93 points, man. That's a big dump. That's a big dump for Asia, guys. And one thing you'll see, I don't like to see this if you're going short. When you start to see the nine start to curl and flatten out straight and then want to go up, that's usually not a good sign for your. Because that's such a huge dump, we may just want to get out of this thing and regroup because it's coming back to me and I don't want to give all this back. I'm not that I have a lot back, but I don't want capital preservation. Let's see if that rejects off the nine on the 1 minute. If that rejects off the nine on 1 minute, um, I'll stand the trade. If we go blow through that, then I'm going to get out. And again, I'm sharing with you how I manage my trades. You do you, I'll do me. But if we get a rejection off that nine, which looks like it wants to, I don't see any really northern pressure. We may get a grinder like this. I'm hoping that if we'll hear some kind of news from the financial juice dude telling me that Trump threatens them or does something ugly or who knows. And that's the other thing. One of the other guys, some guy I was talking to, he said there was a thing that he did. He signed up for Truth Social which I'm like, that's a pretty good idea. I mean, and I think the only person needed to subscribe to is Trump. So if Trump makes some kind of tweet going, I'm going to kill everybody and do all this, the crazy stuff that he does, then I don't know. That's probably a pretty good idea. I really try to limit the socials. I use Facebook only when I'm looking for marketplace to buy something. Usually sporting goods for my kids. We just bought a DeMarini bat. So instead of paying $400 for it, I got it for $100 from somebody. Or if I'm selling, something, marketplace really the only thing. I don't post anything on there. I'm not a Facebooker. I think it's such a time sucker, and I don't do X either. And I sound like an old grumpy, like going, those socials. I don't do any of that garbage because I don't. But for those of you new traders, this Asia session, this is the one. If I was brand new and I wanted to have a newbie get in the fight, this is the session I would tell you to learn on. It's typically the slowest session. So let's just use this as an example. Let's say this you didn't go short when I did, but maybe you went short at 67.90 on this retrace here. Okay. You literally you could put your stop. Let's say you got it at 67.90. You could put a 5 point stop at 67.90 to 67.95, something like right above here, and have almost no risk. It's moving slow. You're going to see if it goes against you, it goes against you. But you literally have little to no risk on this thing at all. And it's moving slow. Like New York will whipsaw, 30 points in one minute candle will whipsaw 30, 40 points. And if you're trying to put a 10-point stop, you're going to get your head blown off. So that's a different animal here. But as I told you here, and managing this thing is when this went to the 9 and it looks like it's rejecting and wants to, if this thing just wants to slow grind down, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So if we get down here to back to 67.73, back down to this low, I believe this thing's going to retrace back here. Let me look at. Let's look at. All right, we'll leave the 5-minute chart up here. Let's look at the. Yeah, and I said we had strong support at 67.91. That's toast. Oh, let's leave this 5-minute here. Let's go. We'll leave the 1 minute over here, and we'll go to the. Let's go to the 4 hour over here. Okay. So we had some fairly. Now this rip up was when I said they're going to negotiate. This was on Tuesday and then into Wednesday. Yeah, and this is when Trump said we're going to negotiate and war is going to end, and then that was a humongous move, right? So that was done. So we've been up here since Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So we've been trading in a much tighter zone. But I cannot imagine. I mean, I still think we could get. I mean, headed all the way back down to here, but I think we could get. I think we could retrace 50% of the 67.43, somewhere in that range. Now, I don't think we'll do it in Asia, but maybe Asia heading into London. Now, Tokyo comes online at 8, and there's typically more volume once Tokyo comes on. Right now, it's 6:18 p.m. So. Oh, okay. Like I said, this is why I keep this up. So at 6:17, that's 2 minutes ago, Trump weighs limited strikes on Iran after talks collapse. That can't be good. I'm not a diplomatic advisor, but given that everything we had going up there, I mean, I'm feeling better about my short now than I did just a few minutes ago. Trump and advisors are looking at recommencing limited military strikes in Iran in addition to the U.S. blockade of the Strait of Hormuz as a way to break a stalemate in peace talks, according to officials cited by the Wall Street Journal. That's like literally, oh yeah, and there we go. Hold on, look at the chart. This is why I love this thing, you guys. This thing is, we get real time news. It's just kind of a validation of my already short. So it's starting to go in our favor here. I'm going to move my stop down on here. What did I tell you guys as a target over here? I think we'll definitely retrace back to this. I think we'll retrace back to this 67.70. We should. So let me do this. Yeah, 67.71 was the low. But I think, given all this news, I don't think this. I mean, we may just base in here. So I may just clip out. Let's go. I'm gonna put. If we can get down to 67.73, that would give me 20 points. Yeah, 67.73. Okay, so we're gonna I'll put a partial at 67.73, which is a 20 point. I'll move the put another 10 points below that, 67.63. I don't think we're going to get any violent more spikes down. I hope this is just a slow grind all the way down to targets. And again, you can see after the initial drop here, this thing moves, pretty slow, pretty predictable. You don't normally get many whipsaws. And when Tokyo comes online, we could. And you'll get some more violent moves at 8. But in that time, by the time 8 gets here, we still got an hour and more than an hour and a half before Tokyo comes online, and then we can set some stops to break even, um, take a partial profit, something like that. So if you're trading,
Trump considers limited strikes on Iran following talks collapse. WSJ.
okay, see how in this that's so cool, right? This guy just talks to me, even if I'm not looking at the screen, even though I do have this on a screen. Typically, I have it on the same screen for the live stream, but typically I have it on a third screen. I've got broker on one. Uh, I've got my chart here on the other, and then I have the swap box with the financial juice on another. So when I see red something pop up, I can see it immediately. Normally, I don't need to click buttons that fast, but if something, peace deals reached, everyone loves each other, kumbaya, and everyone's hugging, then I would get out of my short position immediately. And that's where this is pretty valuable. Oh, this thing is basing here, but I still think let the market digest a little bit. Everyone is so used to Trump's hyperbole and him, threatening all this stuff that I mean, maybe it doesn't move it all the way down, but I mean, I can't believe that that's on the first news here at 627, 629. We dropped a few points. I mean, it didn't fall off a cliff or anything. So trading the system, I was trading I traded news of this kind of news when there's going to be a gap down. I did not think we were going to gap this hard, but I mean, given the circumstances, I guess I should have predicted how big it could have been. But the 920 is a great strategy, guys. I've been using this for 5+ years, having great success with it. And mixed in, there are other nuances. I did a 10-minute video, if you've not looked at that, really based for newbies, explaining the rules of the 920. Now, obviously, there's several other nuances to any trading strategy. If you just go, okay, the 9 crosses the 20 and you go short, the 9 goes above the 20 and you go long. That's the basic concept, but there is a lot of other there's a lot of other information that goes into this. This thing's headed down towards one of my targets, one of my contracts. So I think I'm going to move this one out of its way and give it some more room. And this is where your trade management's going to come into play, guys. If you think it's going to keep going south, and I do, I think for sure we're getting down to 67.71. I don't see anything that shows me that's going to act as support at all. Yeah, I'll tell you one thing that since I'm just sitting there. Oh, hey, welcome. Oh yeah, financial juice. This is it's phenomenal, brother. I didn't see that you just joined me, so yeah, welcome. Yeah, so off we didn't see off the drop. I went short immediately, and I got it over here. I went short at 67.93, so we're in profit right now. We're almost 20 points up on this trade. Yeah, this gap down was bigger than I thought. I think I just measured it. It was a 93-point gap down, which is humongous. We got first target set. Hold on, let me see where I got that thing set on this other. I've got one contract set at 20 points, which is, we're almost there, 67, 73, 25. Are you in a trade? Huh. Okay, yeah, I just took 20 points out. So that's order filled for one. That's good. And the 920 VWAP is working to perfection as well. So I think I was sharing here. I think that we could fill. I think we could come down at least at 50% of this gap fill. I mean, we may fill the whole thing. Yeah, futures is all I trade. So I only trade one. I only trade the S&P 500 now. This Asia session, though, if for new traders, and I've been saying that in my videos, for new traders, the Asia session, and this is the one I would trade. This typically moves very predictable. So besides that gap down, besides this huge gap, but you can see this thing moves. It's not like the New York, that'll go 30 points in 1 minute candle where it just rips your heart out. Now, there's obviously you can get big wins if you're right, but you can also get, you can get your heart pulled out if you're wrong. So for new traders, this is a really good strategy. But but cash doesn't hurt. Cash doesn't suck, man. Capital preservation is the number one thing. Yeah, Trump saying he's weighing limited strikes. That doesn't. I can't imagine the market would be liking that very much at all. I would strongly recommend this over the NASDAQ, the Dow, or the Russell. And I'll tell you why. Out of all of the futures and out of all the big guys like this, is the S&P 500, you've got 500 of the top companies in the world in there. So this, in the NASDAQ, which is technology, you get one of Tesla, or Apple or something big happens, that can affect the NASDAQ and have violent swings. Now, a lot of people love it. It moves a lot faster. Now you got 30 companies in there. One or two companies, this could swing everything. And then the Russell, is the 100, but that's lower. That they kind of move last, whatever the market does. And when the market's really good, it goes up. When the market's really bad, it goes down. So for me, the slowest, the most predictable moving to me, and I find and I like, is the S&P 500. And I know this is going to sound weird to some people, but I've kind of I see what it's doing. I see what it does over and over. And the 920, when you get a trending market, this moves more predictably than the others. Now, that doesn't mean I won't trade the Dow. I'll trade the Dow and the Russell. I avoid the NQ, and I think because I've been stung by that NQ, and that thing moves like a wild bucking bronc. During New York, it moves like a wild animal, and that I've not been down with. But I would tell any new person the S&P 500 is the best way to go. That's my strong recommendation to anybody. Is trade that. Trade that. 67.93. All right, so you see we've already taken it. We took 20 points out. And I've got another one set at 30 points, so it's 67.63. Now, we don't want to see that. Typically, Ray, we've been 30 minutes here. If we start seeing this thing give up, I'll just take my money and and maybe wait for a retrace to the 20. If this 1 minute doesn't reject off the 9 here, um, I'll just take some money, and I've gotten 20 points on 2 contracts out of this thing. But we'll see. It moves so slow, which is this is another thing I love about the Asia session is it moves pretty slow. And we're going back through that. So I just took so I took the 20 points. So now I'm out. I'm out completely right now. And then I'm just going to wait and see what happens. If this thing wants to, if the 1 minute wants to cross back over this and we want to head north, I will use the 1. If the 1 rejects off this 20, I may get back in short. But we'll see. The Dow can move fast
Australia
too.
PM Albanese. United States has not yet asked Australia to help with blockade of Strait of Hormuz.
Okay, so Australia says we haven't asked them for help on the blockade. So I don't know if anyone's in the blockade or we're just saying we're blockading. Who knows? Okay, this is where one of my strengths that I've gotten is trade management. So I took 20 points out of this, and now it's starting to climb back. Why would I, um, why would I fight this? Okay, if all this news is baked in, and the market's going to go, okay, this is just Trump, this is it, no one's been attacked, then maybe it's going to retrace back up here. I can't imagine why it would, but so our 5 minute on the left hand screen here, this has got a ways to go, but if we get this cross going on the 1 minute, by my own rules, I might go long, but I would tell any new trader use the 5 minute. That's my suggestion. You'll get some of these fake outs on the 1 minute if it goes across here. And here's where I've made mistakes in the past. The 9 has not crossed this 20. What I've done is it looks like that first green candle. Looks like that first green candle is crossing. But until you actually get the cross completely and then you have a closing candle, you don't have a trade. Again, these are my rules. There's people that are cowboys and aggressive if you're big. I've learned just not to break my own rules. And for a year, I used the 1 minute to see what's going on, but I did not actually make the trade until the 5 minute. That used to be my. I was religiously to sticking to the 5 minute cross. A couple other good things that's going on for this trade that looks good. The VWAP. If we have price below the VWAP, we like to be short. Here because you had this big gap down, the VWAP is not, the adjustments haven't been made nearly as much. This is the 15 minute. Yeah, we're right at VWAP on 15 minute. So that's really not as a valuable tool right now. So if you were trading two minis, do you trade the minis? What's your name? Blaine. Yeah. I don't know if you're still Blaine, but I don't know if you trade the micros or minis. Micros, if you're a new trader, is what I strongly suggest everyone trade. Your risk is much lower with a micro than it is the minis. Yeah, good. Yeah, the micro is the best one because the minis is 10 points on the S&P is $500. On the micro, 10 points is $50. So that's why I tell everyone to, I mean, I don't risk any more than 10 points on one trade. So whether I'm trading micro or mini, it doesn't matter. 10 points is those are my rules. Them bees my rules and I stick to them. Where are you located, Blaine? I'm Jim, by the way. Oh, New Mexico. I love it. Awesome. Yeah, I used to run a manufacturing company, and we opened up several factories in Puebla, Nogales, which is right at the border. Um, yeah, Puebla is beautiful. So I didn't do too many of the vacation places, but I have very good friends down in Mexico and love it. Yeah, that 1 minute on this, yeah, it looks like it wants to reject. How did you find me, Blaine? Did I just pop up on your feed somewhere? This is only my second time doing a live feed. Ah, okay, it's good. It's popped up. Yeah, if you can do me a favor, like and subscribe, that'd be great. It's weird. I didn't. I'm not a big YouTube guy, but I had friends of mine that said, "Man, you should share." I taught a couple of my friends how I trade this strategy, and they've become actually pretty good traders, and they're making money. And if you can look, I've got a 10-minute video that I did. I believe I did it yesterday or day before yesterday. I did a 10-minute video on how to trade the 920 EMA Cross strategy. You might want to look at that one. I think it's pretty good, showing just the simple rules. And if you drop me an email, here let me do this real quick. So if you drop me an email to bighappytradingfreedom@gmail.com, I'll send you the PDF that I have with my trading rules and how to execute this 920 cross strategy. it's funny. The one of the things that this I am a full-time trader, so when my kids have been home for spring break, so it's nice they're next to me and they have their desk next to me, and I can be gaming. They can be gaming while I'm trading, and I'm not by myself. But typically, this is a lonely job. Now you can be doing a bunch of other stuff while you're in a trade. You can be learning stuff, watching other YouTube videos on your phone, and doing all kinds of stuff. But it's nice to have someone to share this with. So do I understand that you are okay? Yeah, I'll get back down to email. The matter of fact, I think I can do it over here. Let me see if I got your email. I'll look on the other screen real quick. Yeah, there you go. There you go, Brian. I just responded to you. Let me know if you got that. Yeah, if you use Telegram, I will drop my trades in there as well. I'm not a trade service at all, but I mean, I'm just trying to share with people that this strategy works. And to have legitimacy, you need to if you look down in the comments, see if you can see my Telegram link in there. If you want to join that, I just started that. There's only like I don't not many people, but I'm sharing information in there, and to give some people real time information. Yeah, this thing does not look like it wants to go up. There's the Telegram link I just put in the chat. I it's funny, I get that a lot. The only other thing I ever trade is oil, and I'll tell you why. So yeah, this is a good time while we're going pretty slow here. I can share with you. So um, the only other thing, now let me take it back. Once in a while, I will trade the Dow, and during the New York session, if the S&P rips and I miss, let's just say I miss a long. Let's say I miss a short. Say it rips down, I'm missing a short. All the other indices will move with it. So the NQ, the Dow, the Russell, they'll move. They'll typically move together. If I see the Dow has not come down yet, and the S&P has come down, and the NQ has come down, I will go in and I will short the I'll short the Dow. So the only other thing I'm trading here, you'll see my screen on the right. The only other thing I've been trading, and this is only because it's completely volatile now, is I'll trade oil, and that's on the right screen here. And let's look at the 5 minute on oil. So typically, and here's what I missed this trade today, but when the indices, when the S&P is going down, oil is going to go up. So oil was down here at 96 on market 95.69. You saw the S&P dropped 93 points and oil went up $10. That would have been a gigantic trade. But again, you would have had to click buttons fast to get that. So now it's just basing sideways. I can't imagine oil's going to go down, to be honest with you. And I think the S&P is going to continue. I think oil's going to go up as the S&P goes down. That's just they correlate. If one goes up, the other goes down. One goes down, the other goes up. So that's the only other thing I've been trading is oil. Oh, probably more information than you wanted, but you see, you're getting um, the 920 cross is a trending strategy. It is not made for this sideways garbage. Okay, so if you're getting this sideways garbage, again, I told you I've taken 20 points on two contracts out already. Do I think it's going to go down? Probably, but do I have an indicator showing me it's going down? No. The closest thing to an indicator I would tell you here is if on the 5 minute chart here on the left, on this 5 minute chart, if we came up and retraced to the 9, I might go short. But here's it. This is why I watch the 1 too. If the 1 really makes a run back up, you kind of watch those correlation. And then what I'll also do is I'll go to higher time frames if we're looking at possibly a bigger move. So let's just say we go the 15 minute. So obviously the 9 is way below here, but it's kind of basing here. So it doesn't look like it's completely given up on possibly, it's not given up completely on possibly wanting to go up and fill some of that back. That was a pretty big drop. So I'm eager to see what happens when Tokyo comes online in, what time is it? 6:53. So Tokyo will come online here in at 8 o'clock, and then you'll see some fireworks going off there. I may get into a position if we see some kind of trend prior to that, but I'm leaning strong to short here. I don't. There's nothing that's telling me this thing wants to go up. Yeah. Hey, sorry about that. I was sending a message to someone else. Um, Tonight I'll trade. I wait till Tokyo opens. If I can clip out some quick money like I did tonight, from the Asian Open, that's always a good start. I consider Sunday night the start to the week. So if you can get in plus territory going into Monday morning, and I've got a little buffer, which the way I like to look at it, typically I'll trade on Sunday nights or even the Asian session. I'll trade from 6 to no more than 8:30, 9 o'clock, because I spend time with my kids. Kids are nine. My boys are 9, 11, so we spend time together before we go to bed. But a lot of times they'll be down here sitting next to me, and during the day, Monday through Friday, I'll trade the New York Open. So I'm on typically from 9 to 12. If I'm in a bigger trade or a trade's continuing to trend, and I'll monitor it. Really, never after 2. Sometimes I'm out by noon or I'm out by 11. If it starts moving sideways like it's doing right now, and I've made some wins, then I just take it, close it down, and go do something else productive. Or, you know, that's kind of the way I look at it. I know there's a lot of YouTube gurus that go, "Hey, I'm done. Get on at 9:30, and I'm done by, 10:15 every day, 45 minutes." I'm like, yeah, that can happen, but they're trading a lot of different strategies, ICT concepts, orb, breakout. And when I tell you I have looked at every single one of these strategies, I've spent thousands of dollars on training. And when I back tested this strategy back in 2021 and I began using it, and I back tested for thousands of trades. And I'm telling you, I'm thousands. I mean, I literally had an Excel spreadsheet, and I documented this thing, and I back tested the heck out of this thing. But so when I started to use it, and then I polished it, maybe it wants to go up. It wants to retrace. That's why I'm not in this thing. This thing goes up here and touches the 9. I still think it's a short. We're staying below. If we reject out VWAP or reject out this 9, we'll see. But I'll tell you one thing. I'm going to give you a tidbit today, brother, that you need to look at. And this was my biggest aha. When I trade with size, especially for the New York, I will do a look back. And what the way that looks like is I look, this is a cross that you got in. I look back at the 2 previous crosses, and this is pre-market. So I look back at the 2 previous crosses, and if they didn't work, we don't get in the trade. These small moves, they did work. So I look back at the 2 crosses. I would have made money here. I would have made a little. I would have made some. If the previous crosses do not work, I'm giving you the Reader's Digest version, short version. But during the New York session, when you're in it, if they don't work, then you don't get in the trade. That's my 2 cents. Think anyone's gonna be hungry? I don't think so. I'm gonna have a popsicle though. That's gotta be good for you. Yeah, it works. Anything with the chart, it works. Um, but here's what I would tell you, that there's so many variables, especially us as retail traders. You've got Financial Juice, which is a helpful tool. Financial Juice is really structured for the S&P 500. This is the way that the tickers that they have, if you look here, is it's got S&P, Euro, oil, and Bitcoin. So this thing's irritating, but when this telling you when it goes down, you hear those ticking sound. It's called tick strike. I'll have it on during New York. You hear it going down, you hear it going up. And the cool thing is, if you get radical moves, the guy will come on the stream and tell you, oh, it's going down because of this, or it's going up because of this. So you see we're going down. So I don't even need to see the chart because you can hear the tick. But that thing gets irritating after a while. So as I predicted, I should have gone short here, but I went to get a popsicle from 67.79. We're only down 4 points. But I still think a short is the right play. We came up close to this VWAP here, and we rejected.
Keiko Fujimori leads Peru presidential vote with 16.6%. Early exit polls show Ipsos Peru.
So to answer your question, yeah, it works on everything. But you've got to know the instrument. To me, you got to know the instrument. And if there's a lot of other variables, like I said, if you got earnings reports, that's another big variable. If you're looking at tech stocks and different things. But yeah, this thing wants to go down. You can play. You know, you can play, Doug. My son's coming over here to play on his. I think I need to get some kind of music playing because otherwise I'm kind of boring to watch. But you got to be careful what music you play on YouTube because they'll ban you.
What?
I'm talking to the guy online with me here. Well, I'm glad I can teach you about this strategy here. My son, my 9-year-old son. All right, tell me what we do on this chart. I'm having him look at the chart here. Hold on. This was the open. He knows if the blue line crosses the big red line, then he knows we go short. So I'm teaching them trading. I'll teach them trading so they don't have to work for anyone else. That's our goal. All right. So what would you do here? Look at this. So we've got the come. Don't. No, he's eating a popsicle. Okay. I'll give you a break right now. Yeah, job security. So tell me right here. What will we do? Yes. Down, short, correct, Armando.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I said that the whole time.
Yeah, I know you did. All right, so now look at this. What do you think is going to happen? Are we going to go up and down? Look at this stuff. What do you think is going to happen here? Huh? The correct answer is we don't know.
I know.
Right. So we wait for a signal because we don't know this wishy-washy stuff back and forth here. Sideways action, that's not good for our strategy. So we just sit here and we wait. Yeah, I'm live streaming. And I'm talking to Blaine. And it looks like Min is here.
Hi.
Well, my son's here with me, guys. So his last day of freedom, spring break is over. He's back to school. But yeah, we had a good trade. Min, you just joining us. We had we went in at 67.93 on this tank. So we went short at 67.93, 93.25, and we took 20 points out of this. I took 20. I mean, technically, I probably should have stayed in, but we had two contracts. We took them. We got out, and then I'm kind of waiting for another re-entry based on the 920. I was talking to Blaine, and I was going to re-enter here on this touch near the VWAP at 67.79. I didn't. So I mean, we're ranging 4 or 5 points, so I didn't do anything there. But based on everything, and man, if you're still here, the really cool tool, and Blaine and I were talking about this, is Financial Juice. This gives real-time data. And while Blaine and I were on this, when this at 6:17, when this came in, at Trump weighs limited airstrikes on Iran after talks collapse, literally that thing came and dumped. It dumped down, which is just unbelievable. So back here, so 6:17, so 23. Yeah, thing fired down a few points. Anyway, just a nice tool to have. Yeah. Go away with those. I don't know if I'm getting back into anything before Tokyo comes online at 8. So we still got 50 minutes. Yeah, for those of you, if you want to be notified when I go live, or if you want to be notified on any trades that I take, I drop those in Telegram. So if you want to be alerted, and again, I'm not a trading service at all, but I like to let people know, and I'm trying to give. I do what I say what I do. So if I'm going to make a trade, a lot of people do. I see a lot of the videos the guys will do the video after the fact, going, "Oh, okay, here's this a winning trade I had," but I'm showing my stuff live, win or lose. There's the so Min, it's Miniverse. If you want to join me on Telegram, please feel free. I'll drop when I have a video, and if you could like and subscribe, that really helps me. I think Blaine said it. Somehow I popped up on his feed. I'm a brand new channel, and just trying to get out there. I was helping some of my buddies. They wanted to learn trading, And then they go, well, you need to be sharing this on YouTube and share with other people. A lot of people need to find a simple way to trade in another secondary income, or for me, this is really my primary income. So, but it's taken me a long time to be able to get to where I can trade predictably and profitably. And if you want to, I sent a copy to Blaine already. If you want to get a copy of my free PDF, uh, if you drop me an email, I will be happy to send that to you. My email is bighappytradingfreedom@gmail.com. Drop me an email and I'll send you the PDF for free. There's good and bad on the Asian session because some is low. And this is the other thing that again can be bad. Um, when the volume's low, that they can manipulate this thing. So you'll get some once in a blue moon during the 6 to 8 session, we'll get like a just a wicked spike one direction or the other. Sometimes in your favor, sometimes against you. That's why I always set my stops. I and I always set my targets. And that people don't do that enough is I had multi contracts today. So originally I had one set at 20 points and I had one set at 30 points. Now, the 20-point hit and then the 30-point didn't hit and I thought it was going to start retracing and come back against me during this. So I took another 20 and in hindsight I could have stayed in, but I just took I took 20 points on the market on 2 contracts. So it's a great start to Sunday evening. We'll see what it brings here. I still think, and I shouldn't be thinking, because the charts are going to tell me my process in 920 is going to tell me what to do. So we were short 68.93. We closed profit 20 points, 2 contracts. Let's put that right down here and let's make this is green. Yeah, so we went short 67.93 and we closed 20 points, 2 contracts. 920 EMA Cross works, folks. If you're not trading this, I believe you should be. The way I execute trades and monitor trades. This is the 5 minute on the left-hand screen, and then the 1 minute. This is more my execution, the 1 minute. Again, to do a quick review, what I do prior to market open is I mark here we have the New York high on Friday. It was pre-market. It's like I still call it the New York because it was 8:30 a.m. But you had a high of 68.89. And then you had the New York low at 1:30 p.m., which was 68.46. And then we had pretty strong support from April 9th pre-market at 67.91. And this gap down on the Asian Open, given all the bad news on Iran, we blew down through this thing. What did I measure this before, Brian? I think, yeah, we went down 95 points. 93 points. It was 80, 68, 63. That's a humongous drop for the Asian session. So we gapped down, and I got in short at 67.93. We went down to 67.73. I took my 20 points, and I'm not in a trade right now. All right, let's see what we got. Yeah, I keep anything clipping up here, but even if I got it at 67, 78, 67, I mean, we're talking about 3-4 point swings. Something's going to break here. You don't move this way sideways for too long without snapping one way or the other. And then looking at the 4 hour. Oh my goodness, hold on. Yeah, so it could be resizing these things. So looking at the 4 hour, this was the huge run up. I keep telling myself, I think this thing may get it down to half of the, retrace half of this gap down to the 67, 14, 67, 15 range. That's my, I'm sorry, you guys can't see it. I'm going to kill my son. So I don't know, those of you who don't have a kid, you may not find this funny, but the craze, the 6-7 craze, holy cow. And I just said 6-7. And so my son is giving the hands going back and forth of the 6-7, which I'm going to kill him because it's not allowed in our house. But that was pretty funny. And I coach with Little League. Like, if anybody on this team last year, they were 8 last year, but I had to threaten them with laps if anyone does the 6-7 thing. All the parents supported me, which was just brilliant. There's been lots of trends that are irritating, but I don't know anything that's more irritating than that. So I'm gonna do some research to get some kind of music that doesn't get a YouTube ban or some kind of entertainment besides just my talking. But Blaine, if you want a paper trade, I'm not a fan of paper trading. I mean, let me tell you why. 15 plus years ago, I started out like everybody does, and I think everyone starts out paper trading. And I paper traded, and if you go to a paper trading account, like you get like $50,000 or 100,000 or whatever the number is, doesn't matter. But here's the problem: is that you have a strategy, and that's all fine and good, and then you execute that strategy.
New Zealand dollar last down 0.7% at 0.5799. Australian dollar last down 0.76% at $0.7016. Sterling down 0.47% at 1.3396 United States dollars. Euro down 0.49% at $1.1666.
So
US dollar index USD up 0.46% at 99.17.
So everything else is down, just the dollar's up. Okay, so but going back to why I don't paper trade, why I don't recommend paper trading, and I'll tell you, I think this is good advice I'm about to give anybody. Is paper trading is, man, I made a bajillion dollars. My first strategies, and it was more of a reversal strategy when I started like 15 years ago, which I still incorporate in a sideways market once in a blue moon. But the the reason paper trading doesn't work is because your psychology is when there's real money. Um, yeah, it is rotating back in. Blaine, you're right. When you're trading with real money, your adrenaline flowing. You're wanting to click that button. A drawdown, a trade's going against you. But if it's paper money, you'll set a stop at 10 points, 50 points, whatever it is. And you'll just, if it runs up and hits a stop, you don't even think about it. But when it's real money, and if you use too much size, the bigger problem's not moving your stop. The bigger problem that I had is originally I didn't let my winners run. And it would go 10 points and it would even start to tick up against me and I would just click it and then it would go down another 20, 30 points and I left money on the table, left on the table, left it. Now I don't do that. That doesn't mean we don't take our money and run when we can. Like today I took 20 points. 20 points is a 2-to-1 on two contracts. This all this sideways garbage, I would be no better, maybe another 4 or 5 points, but letting your winners run. So paper trading to me, once I did the same strategy when I got real money in the account, and then I started trading with real money, and I was breaking even, I was losing, and it was a scary movie. So I tell everyone, even if you start really with a really small account, trade real money. It's going to be better for you because then you're going to develop different habits with the paper trading. So I'm not a fan of paper trading. I don't think it's a good tool for you learning trading. I think you need to trade with real money. Now, if you see this, email me for the free strategy guide. It's just a PDF. It's nothing fancy, but it tells you all the rules of the 920 strategy and how I use it. Trade management, execution, stops, targets, all that good stuff. Trade management, you're gonna learn. Um, you're gonna learn, how to execute it. Also, you're trading options. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, as long as you're doing, um, if you want to learn a strategy and you're using paper trading, that's fine. But then you've got to start using real money. I tried options 15 years ago, and I'll tell you when I futures gives you all the leverage that for me that I can only speak for me. Futures gives me the leverage that I need, and it's volatile enough, and you have the contract size. It moves. Now 10 points. If you're even if you're trading a micro, 10 points is $50. 20 points is $100 with a 50-point risk. Now, if you want to start sizing up, the nice thing if you do with the micros, you trade two contracts, and now you're risking $100 per 10 points. But if you get a 20, 30, 40, 50, I've had last week um, I had one 40-point day, and I had a couple of 30s, and I had a good week last week. And that's a tough market to trade. Last week with all this craziness going on, it's crazy. But yeah, I think trading it's enough volatility to let's look at the. You had talked about the NQ, but so look at the NQ on the 1 minute of how this moves, and now look at the ES on the 1 minute. That doesn't look like a big difference, but the kind of the craziness of this NQ, it's just like a wild bucking bronc to me. And there's a lot of people that love trading it, and they are very successful at it. I just like more the predictability of the S&P 500. It's a bigger instrument. It's more of a battleship and moves more predictably to the 920 works for anything, but the but I pick one vehicle, one instrument, and that's it. That's just how I roll. So if we don't get at 8 o'clock, if we get, I'm trying Tokyo coming online. We just got all this negative. New Zealand dollar down, euro down, Australian dollar down, dollar up, sterling down. And then at 6:19, we said that Trump's looking at value. I coach both of my sons in Little League, and my son Walter plays on 10U. He's just turned 9, so he's at the bottom of. I'm coaching his team, and my other son is 11. He plays on the 12U, so they're both moved up a level, and now they're at the bottom of their age bottom at both those levels. So we had some of our first practices. And I told the boys if they don't execute, then I'm going to sing. What is that from Frozen?
What?
The song is from Frozen. Isn't that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I start singing to them Elsa when I have to tell them to let it go. And this is the way we're going to execute. So I start singing to them, let it go, let it go. No, just that gets them to do exactly what we're supposed to do when they're supposed to do it. So, and that works for my boys at home too. So it's been pretty fantastic.
Can I play with you?
Oh, you're doing swing trading on the options? Man, it's tough to swing in this market, isn't it, Blaine? You must have some.
Well, after you're done.
You must have some big swings on the swing. Yeah, good idea not to trade through this, man. That's oh yeah, you said earlier you were in cash, so that's a great play. That's why I like these scalping strategies. I am not. I can tell you that I've been punched in the nose on swing trading, so many that I'm intraday. I'll stay in. I usually won't stay in overnight, but I will stay in at close of New York, going into Asia. I don't do that this war stuff, but I will. I should have Friday, even though the market crept up. So the market. Let's look at. So Friday. So Friday the market started to, that's 1300. So I wrote that down. So Friday, so the market started to creep up. This is where the market closed on Friday. So it was creeping up. I had a good short. I took, and you can see my live trading video if you want to go look at that. I took um, 2 contracts at 20 points and 2 at 15 points. So I had a winning day, but I almost went short again, anticipating this Asia drop. My goodness, if I would have been short and enjoyed this 90-point drop. And I know it's not going to go 90 points up. There can't be any good news. The war wasn't going to end over the weekend. As stubborn as Trump and Iran and all them are, and I'm not. I don't want to be political. It's just like this is that's crazy town. So I should have followed my at least one contract, at least one micro. I mean, now 100 point. If it would have gone 100 points up against me, even one micro, that's a lot of money. but I knew it's not going up 100 in this direction, especially given the market. We're just starting to recover from a lot of different things. Anyway, that's hindsight. Easy to Monday morning quarterback and go, oh, I should have been in. But my pre-market bias, you see up here, my Asian Open, I had a short bias. I knew there was going to be a gap down here, and I knew that Friday, and that's what sometimes you got to follow your nose. And trading is about probability, but there's risk. You have to risk the money, but it's a calculation of probabilities, and the probability to me was this thing is going down as of Sunday, which is, gosh darn it, if I could have been in just even 2 micros, that'd have been $1,000. Nearly $1,000 trade, and my live stream would have been short. That's okay. I trade with more size during New York. It's actually better to trade with more size. This thing wants to go down, guys. Look at this thing wanting to. So that's where I took my profit, 67.73. We're right. So even if I stayed in this trade for the last hour and a half, I would be taking my 20-point profit because I got in at 67.93, and it's just not getting back down to 67.73. So it's just not here. But I still think this is going down. I think when Tokyo comes online, I think we're going to head down. And again, just trading the 920 EMA Cross, the 9's below the 20, even though we're coming up to the 20 because this came down so hard. But I don't think that we're going to cross up. I think we're going to continue. I think this is going to make a right-hand turn and head south. Glenn, I think this thing's going to head down your guys' way in Mexico. It's going south, brother. Oh yeah, it's good. If you stayed out since the conflict, that's smart. It's smart there. Well, that's the thing I like about intraday trading and short-term trading is that I'll look at the daily bias. So if the daily bias is up or down, but really the most I need to look at is the hourly. That's long-term for the way I'm trading. So if you're looking at I'm looking at the 1 hour. The daily bias matters, But the most important thing for my strategy, and I think this is important for to learn what I do, is I find the highs and the lows of the previous day, and that's kind of a range. Now, given weird news and gap downs like this, you don't get gap downs like this all the time without some kind of crazy stuff going on. But typically these act as magnets. So I was short Friday. I'll show you back here. So Friday I was short. The market is open at 13:30. So I was short. Yeah, I got short around, I don't know, about 10 o'clock, something like 10 a.m., 10:30. So I got short. I was short here, and then I added back again down here. So I went from 2 contracts to 4 contracts. So I added here, and then I wrote down, I got 15, 15, and 20, 20. So I got 4 contracts. And then it just kind of started doing this sideways stuff. And that's why I got out. I could have gotten a little bit more. And then it just kind of drifted up a little bit. What I should have done, taken my 2 contracts, put 2 at break even. So even at 2 at break even if this thing went north against me, it would have stopped me out at, because this on the open, it didn't go up then down. It went straight down. So that's how you would trade an overnight hold or a Friday into a Sunday night hold. And I've done it in the past and had some decent success. And I've also gotten stopped out because a lot of times it'll go whipsaw up and take you out. But that's neither here nor there. So. But one thing I'm trying to do on these live sessions is be able to, when I log on and I've watched other people live, I don't know what they're trading. I don't know what their entry was. I don't know. I don't know exactly what their strategy was. I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know what really. I don't understand all their indicators. So I'm trying to, if someone looks at this and sees me and logs in, then I want them to be able to see, what I'm doing. That's kind of, why I'm trying to help other people. Yeah, I'm training the U.S. Open tomorrow. I'll be on at 9 a.m. And I'll do the same thing I did today. We already have the high. The New York low is really irrelevant now because we just blasted down. I'll leave it on there. But now I'm just going to change this because I'll save it. So right now we know that this is, you feel free to use what I'm using. So we got here. So we got so 67, 60, 67, 67. That's our low. So we can do this here is 67, 67. Low Asia session, and that was at, hold on a second here, that was right at the open, right? No, 67, 67, that was at 6:30 p.m. Sunday, and it's at 6:30 p.m. I like to put the time. I go back and search, and I want to know what time did it hit. So right at that was our low at 6:30, and for me, the more information, the better. Because then I see, hey, right, 30 minutes out the open, we hit our low, and then we haven't gone back down to that low. I mean, are we going to retrace back to that right now? So you got 67.67. We're at 67.73. So when we got a ways to go to get back down to. Um, I'll have a bias, but I won't. I'm not going to predict. Right now, you've got the 9 and the 20 on the 5 minute chart are kind of intersecting here. It's not telling me anything yet. And again, with all of this sideways garbage, I don't see anything really, anything definitive. You see, we're down here. I mean, even when the wick down was 93 points, 90 something, so we're still down 81 points here. Anyway, we're going slow. I don't know. I've traded a lot of crypto, but I got burnt on my broker badly, so I'm not even trading crypto anymore. So Bitcoin, well, that's Bitcoin dominant. So I'm like, what in the world's going on? Okay, here we go, Bitcoin. Yeah, so Bitcoin 70,000. So that thing dumped. Let's look at this on a 5 minute. Oh yeah, that dumped along right with the. So it went from 71. That's not a huge dump. But yeah, this is like watching paint dry. I'm gonna have to figure out some alternative. But on the 1 minute, and even you can see slightly angle matters. You got the 5, which is very, because this line's so fat, it's hard to see sometimes. But I like it that way. This is at a downward trajectory, and we're below VWAP. We're below VWAP. That's all. Those are all another confluence that I like to continue to go short. This is continuing on a downtrend. So you know, let me look at something here.
What's up?
Over here.
Dang, your diamond.
So you can see we're down. This is a downward trajectory even on the 1 minute. So we're having lower highs and we're getting lower lows. So if this continues back down to, I mean, technically on the 1 minute, even though this is wishy-washy, looks like we're getting rejection off the 20, where the 9 is being the 20 here on the 5. You could take a small short here with a very tight stop. And this is the cool thing about this strategy, and I want to share this with you, brother. So technically, talk about almost zero risk. If you wanted to risk it for the biscuit here, by the strategy here, you could go literally go short at 67.75. Let's go at 67.75. You could have a 4-point stop to the VWAP and try to take 10 points of this thing. I've traded like this and had lots of success. The nice thing is, if I'm only going to have 4 points, then I can trade with more size because my risk, my dollar risk, is going to be the same, right? So, but if you get a big spike down, you can win. That's the cool thing about this strategy that I like. And if you look at the same trade here on the 1, if we're going down here, you could tighten that up. I mean, you can even tighten the stop up to where, I mean, you're risking nothing. If it goes up at all, then you just get out. So that's why I really like this strategy, and I really like this strategy for new traders to use it on the Asia session. No, I don't use alarms at all. I live trade and I look at price action. So what I will do, if I am very confident that I'm going to get a retrace back to the VWAP or back to the 9 or back to the 20 or whatever I think, if I'm going to go short, I'll set an order there. And sometimes I'll scale in. I'll scale in like with just one contract or two. And if I'm wrong, mine goes OCO. So once I place an order, the stops are set automatically. So can't get wicked out. But no, I don't use any alarms because I trade manually and because I manually manage everything. Now, once I set it, I won't just sit here with my finger on the trigger. I'll set stops, and if I'm in a trade, especially for Asia trading, I'll go up and have dinner with the family. We got stop set, we got this set, we got target set, and so I don't just sit here, with my finger on the trigger. Typically, what I'll do is I'll read. Um, I get, like we're reading a book at church right now, so I'll listen to that on Audible or I'll read it, and I'm just sitting there watching it. So, and now they got the Squawk Box guy. He kind of alerts me if anything crazy looks like it's going to happen. So, yeah, I don't set alarms. There's a lot of people that do that, but when I'm in it, I'm in it. When I'm out, I'm out, and I close everything out. And boy, holding trades overnight was something I've done in the past, and that makes me, especially with a Trump tweet or something. This guy is crazy town. So here, I think this is a short. We got the CCI is going up here. If this rejects off this 20, it should go down. But if it's going to go through it on the 5 and make this rotation up after it's been down this low, but we got up this high before and it rejected. It might want to push up. So we're coming into Tokyo in 8 minutes. This is like the New York Open. What it'll do a lot of time it'll start pushing up and do this kind of stuff on the New York Open. The Asian Open right before Tokyo acts the same way. I think if we reject off the VWAP here on the 5 minute, I'll go short. Just one contract, just to show you how like I do trade the strategy. But if it goes through that, yeah, it looks like it's going through it. Don't know. So now you're looking at if we're going to trade the strategy. I will typically wait till Tokyo comes online before I get in here and see what they're going to do, because this is where you get a lot of bots and a lot of algos will start filling orders. They have orders that have to be filled. This is algorithmic trading at its finest, and this is something I've learned the hard way as well. So right before the Open, right before the New York, and right before the Asian Open, I haven't traded London enough because it's the middle of the night, but you'll get a lot of this algo trading garbage here. But tell me, what news, what information besides these algos filling orders is there for this thing to go up based on everything that we know? I don't think there's any good information going on here. There should not be any reason for this to be going up. So this is where my experience tells me that let's just sit on our hands and wait to see what happens. We don't just blindly trade when the 9 crosses a 20 or the 9 crosses a 20. I don't blindly do that. Now the CCI is pretty high at 165 on the 5, and it run up to 404. If anything, I think this is coming back down. Matter of fact, I just did a quick short for one contract. So we are short 67.82. Yeah, 67.82 short. We're 67.82. Let's see if we can get back down. I think we at least trace back down to here. Let's go. My stop goes automatically to 10. That's basically a 1-to-1. My target was 8. Let's make it at least a 10. 1-to-1. When I say we're 67.82 is where we're in. Yeah, that's right. 67.82. All right, so now if this fires against me by a lot, I will get out. But again, this is counter trend trading. This is crossing by the 920 EMA Cross. You would be going long. I'm using other confluences. This being extremely overbought at 424 on the 1 minute and the 5 minute. I can't see this wanting to go super high, but we have very little risk on this. So we're see if the juice has got any new news. No, all stuff. This is so cool. The I feel like I'm not alone too. Some dude that's kind of watching out for me, man. He's going to tell me if something goes for me or against me. He's going to be telling me what in the heck's going on here. So I have it set right. 67.80. I'm at 67.82.75. That's where we're set. So we're in red by a couple points, barely. So we'll see what happens here. Tokyo opens in 3 minutes. When you get this sideways garbage here, look, we're not just not going to have a very good trending night for Asia, maybe. Oh, do you find that with financial juice? I haven't found that so far. I always check on it. I'm always paranoid. So I'll turn the streaming. If it says streaming, what I'll do is I'll disconnect it and then I'll reconnect it. Is that what you typically do? I've really only been using this for about a week. So far, but I don't know if it's not. I'm not getting live data. So that's a good point. Yeah, that's the latest news. So he hasn't said they haven't dropped any news since 1920, which is you and I were on, and when he read all that stuff. So that's when that news came out. The way I read this is that's the news time that it was reported. That's the way I read that thing. So, but he doesn't have anything new to report to me. I don't get to hear anything. So that's just the way I see that. But all right, let's see what Tokyo does here.
South Korea April 1 to 10 imports increased by 12.7% year on year. Customs Agency. South Korea April 1 to 10 trade balance provisional at plus $3.10 billion. Customs Agency.
So yeah, so financial juice just came. Oh, okay, good. Looks like it's Tokyo's come online and we're dumping, which is good. So I'm in profit on that. But now they may crank it right back up because they go. Yeah, so here South Korea just came in right at 8 o'clock at 20. So it looks like it's working like it should. That's good news. All right, so we got the trade going in our favor again on the short. Again, this is really how can anything be positive right now with everything that's out there? I just if this thing drops several points, I might just set a stop. I set stops
South
inside.
Korea won weakens by 1% versus dollar.
I'll set it just inside. A couple points to cover broker fees, but listen, this may want to. They may looks like Tokyo may want to take this and rebound. I don't know. There's a lot of times where Asia will take it up, or London will take it up. Yep, they just got to. So I'd love to see this 9 on the 1 minute cross down. I'd like to see this 20 take a turn south and see the on the 5 minute this cross. That I feel better about this thing wanting to head back down to the lows. I would just take 10 points out of this and be happy with it for the night, and then attack New York in the morning. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to find. I don't want any irritating music, and I've watched some guys in the past live stream, and they have some kind of just obnoxious music that's playing. But I mean, guys, I'm not the most exciting narrator, but I am open book on how I trade, and even when I do the recordings, whatever I share is what I do. I'm not blowing sunshine and telling anyone. I tell you when I make a mistake, I get out too early. I maybe a stop was hit at break even, then it went my direction. I would tell you I have no more regrets if a stop is hit at break even and then a trade goes in my direction after that, after it hits it. I used to have remorse and go, well, I'm not going to move my stop so early. But no, I've changed my tune on that. If it goes in my direction 10 points, then I take my money. That's it. It's pretty simple. And that's what I do. So here's what Tokyo does sometimes. So with the first 2 hours does this, and then they kind of will rattle around. But again, I'm looking at. I mean, we've got a stop set. We're not gonna. We've taken you know some pretty good progress out of this, but we're not set it. But anyway, going back to that, I have no remorse of taking break even trades. I call them break even. You make like 3-4 bucks on it because I set it a few points inside to cover the fees. So I don't take any. And I have probably during the New York session, I'll have, and even during Asia session, I'll probably have in a week, I'll probably have 8 to 10 break even trades. That those used to be max losses. And I can tell you, this is my psychology, and I'll share this with you guys. That when I have my psychology gets, it's like being kicked below the belt by a mule. if I have a winner that's up 10 points and then I turn that winner into a loser of 10 points, it messes with my psychology so much that I can't have it. It's just then I get gun shy and won't click buttons when I see my triggers and when I see my setups come in. So what I've done, and I've always said, hey, listen, when it gets to 10 points in my favor, I move everything, whether it's one contract, five contracts, whatever it is, I move everything to break even. I'm not taking any loss when it goes 10 points in my favor. And if I see it coming up aggressively, I'll take a 5 point win. And I have no remorse about that. Or I'll take two contracts. If I got, let's just say for easy math, let's say I got two contracts. I'll take one contract at 5 points and I'll move the other to break even. That way, I may not make a lot, but I'm not going to lose. Capital preservation is the one thing I've learned that has helped me the most over the years to protect my capital. That's it, man. It's that's been my biggest play, and I have no remorse over break even trades. Yeah, I break even, and I look at my broker statement. It'll inflate my win percentage because a $3 win is a win, and it puts it. But I'm not a win percentage person. I'm a make money person. So I don't even know what my win rate is. It's in the mid 60s. That's not counting. I mean, my real win rate. In my trade log, I have a separate category for break evens. I don't call them. So, but I know my win rate last time I checked it through January, and that's a whole year. I was at 65, almost 66%. And that's not counting the break evens. So, and my wins are bigger than my losses. So, I mean, that's even if they were the same, then and you're at 65%, you're gonna make money. But so I don't count the break evens. I don't keep track of those in my own now in my brokerage accounts in Ninja Trader and in the other broker accounts. They do keep track of that stuff. I don't. So well, this is going against me here, guys. But let's just see. I mean, we're down a whopping 2 points. So I don't think I'm headed to the poorhouse yet. But by the 920 EMA Cross strategy, you guys should be going long. I got in short based on the news in Tokyo. And I've already, those, if any was just joining us, we've already taken multiple contracts, 20 points on that earlier trade out of the market. Now, we're not obviously not going to give anything back here. I don't want to give any significant dollars back here, but I'm going to give this one more candle. If we don't see a red candle, I will take a 3 point loss, which is virtually nothing. But
China
again,
VOC expected to set yuan midpoint near 6.8395 per dollar source estimate.
I don't think that has any bearing on our China, South Korea. Still reporting on a lot of Asian stuff here. Does anyone have any questions on the? I don't know how many people I got out watching here. I know not everyone comments on this, so let me. It says there's 7 people watching. Does anyone have any questions on the strategy or trades or any questions like that? I'm trying to be transparent on what I'm doing, how I execute. If you do, please feel free. think Tokyo wants to really make a push. Those of you just joining here, this first gap down was a doozy. That thing was, I think, dropped 93 points. That was a big that was a big gap down. And I jumped in at 67.93, and I took 20 points out at 67.73. So I took 20 points out of the market there, and I was in and out pretty quick on that one. Looks like this may want to climb back up. And again, I will cut a loser faster than you could say loser. But we're only, what, 3 points? We're at 67.82, 67.85. Yeah, those of you just joining us, Glenn and I were chit-chatting here. The Financial Juice, this service that I'm using, real-time news data, it has just been epic for me. I don't have to sit there. It's actually like a companion. If I don't have any of you guys online, this guy talks to me once in a while. I can see real-time news because I used to have several sites up I would look at, and then if I don't see a green candle, I'm going to close this for like a really small loss. If I don't see a red candle here, this next candle, because I was at 60. Well, I'm up what? 67.82. I know it's 5 points is nothing, but again, if it wants to grind up, I'm not interested because I've taken multi contracts out and I've only won one contract now, so there's no reason to give it back. Anything that I don't need to get back. But going back to this Financial Juice, this is an extremely cool tool. If you've not used this thing, it is really, really cool. The guy Squawk Boxes talks to you, and then he also it pops up in red, what the bad news, what a real significant news is. So you can see here, Trump weighs limited strikes on Iran, blah blah, after talks collapse. So given this kind of news, what kind of, and I'm not a news trader, but you have to be, given this environment, you have to be wary of the news and be looking at the news. I mean, Trump's tweets, we don't get along. The negotiation crew from left with no settlement. They left the talks. So, and Iran's demanding all these things. U.S. is demanding all these things. And wherever you are in the world, I want the world to be at peace. But, I mean, given the posturing that everyone has, this is just ugly right now. And it's unfortunate. But this Squawk Box, this Financial Juice, is a really, 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 really cool tool. And I test drove quite a few other Squawk Boxes, but this is, to me, is the best and the cleanest. And this guy talks. You've got this tick strike, which is really irritating, but it'll tell you if the market, you can see the down arrow here. And you'll hear it actually ticking when it moves significant. When it moves up or down significant, this guy will go, hey, market S&P's moving up. I don't have any data, but I'm checking. And then like a couple minutes later, I'll come on and go, oh, well, it's moving up because of this, or it's moving down because of this. So I found this to be very cool. Just a nice tool to share. All right, we are not going to tolerate one more green candle. I'm down 5 points. 6 point. Again, this is where I told you. This is where I think one of my biggest strengths have been is I won't. It doesn't need to go all the way back up to my stop. It doesn't need to go 10 points. If I don't like the way something's working and I'm up, um, being a big boy and putting my big boy pants on and taking my losses is something I've been better at. So I'll move my stop, or I'll just take a small loss and retain the wins that I have because I have a winning night so far, and no need to turn the winning night into a break even night. I've only got one contract on this, and we took two at 20. I'm only down with 5 points right now. Not that that's a lot, but you'll get these melt ups in when you get these slow grind ups. This is where we want to. Those of you who should have been listening to me, this should have been long. I'm trading news tonight, and I'm glad I got to show the winners, but I'm glad I'm getting to show a mistake I made because technically, we should have been long right here, and we would be that would be 5 points in profit instead of 5 points against us. So I'm hoping you do as I've shown you, not as I'm doing tonight. Good, better, ugly, man. You're gonna get it straight from me. But overall, I've been trading this strategy for 5+ years, guys, and I'm very disciplined. I trade with the more size in New York, and and depend upon Asia. With the uncertainty tonight, with all the bad talks and everything falling apart, um, trading relatively small tonight, and then this, for the live session here, I've I'm just trading micro tonight. Um, and I suggest if you're a new trader, you just trade micros until you find out and know what you're doing. Don't trade minis. 10-point move with a micro is $50. 10-point move with a mini is $500. So it's all relative. It's all relative what the size of your account is and what your tolerance threshold is, what you can. So it's up to you. But I would tell you until you learn something, I can tell you if you start trading, if you got a small account and you start trading $500 risk versus $50 risk, I can tell you your adrenaline's going to go up and your stress level is going to go up. But it's all about discipline. Yeah, if anyone has any idea of what entertainment value I could offer as far as some music playing or something, I guess I can search on non-YouTube music violation because I know that if you play any kind of copyright music, that YouTube they'll grab you and shake you. It looks like this wants to roll over. I can't imagine you're getting on the 5 minute. We got a doji candle here, so there's some indecision here. On these 1 minute candles, we got strong candle, a strong hammer candle from the front, and a strong hammer candle. Actually, this pushing right down. I think this wants to push back down. So, um, I was talking to another trader who had messaged me, and he's been trading longer than I have, and it was quite a nice compliment. He told me he's been trading now this 920 since he watched some of my videos, and he's having a lot of success. He watches the the thing he said he's added with this, and I may look at it because I mean he's been trading a long time, and he said he's been successful. Um, he uses a volume profile, and I know there's a lot of guys who use the volume profile. And if you guys are not aware of the volume profile, I might do a video on it. The volume profile is going to show you where the majority of the money, like on this, I'm not going to pull it up on this chart here, but I'll pull it up here. So the volume profile will have, it'll come with a bunch of lines out here. This is where the main money is, and then it gets lesser here and up here. The volume profile shows you where um, the battle's happening in between the longs and the shorts. I'm giving you the Reader's Digest version if you're not aware of that. But I may do a video on it. When I used to have 73 indicators on my charts, volume profile was one of them. But I found, that's what I told him. That's simplicity to me. I have 4 indicators. I used to look at volume too. Actually, I have volume still up on my broker. My broker also has charts, so as I'm looking at, I can see volume, but I'm not trading volume. It's the S&P 500. It's a gigantic instrument. So can they have some shenanigans if the volume goes down? Yeah, but the volume's not going to mess with me the way I'm intraday trading and scalping. You'll see volume coming in. Remember, on the Asia on Tokyo. When Tokyo came in, we had some pretty good volume, but and now the volume's petering down. But I don't know. I think when you start adding so many indicators, that for me, it just complicated, and I wouldn't click the button. I'm like, I want this to line up, and this to line up, and this to line up, and this to line, like ridiculous. Now I don't do that, and I've found a lot more success and peace. I put the order in, I set the stop. Once you're in the trade, you're in the trade. Write it. If you think it's going against you, you don't need to let go of the stop. Click and get out. Again, I'm watching this, and I know this instrument. If it goes against me, then I'm out. If it goes in my favor, 10 points in my favor, I move my stops to break even. I have no risk. My rules are simple. And if you haven't had it on here, did I delete it? Yeah, if you want to get my PDF guide of the rules and execution for this strategy, you can drop me an email, and I will email that to you directly. No charge, no nothing like that. My email is be happy trading freedom at gmail.com. Make that in there. Yeah, so if you're interested, yeah, go ahead and fire me an email, and I'll send it to you here. I'm gonna stay on for a few more minutes, and if we get any more, then I'm gonna cut this.
It's orange black.
Oh. Thank you. Oh, my wife bought me some fancy orange black tea in a tiny little cup. Oh, that's amazing. My wife is a tea connoisseur, and I get to be her tea testing guinea pig, which is wonderful. right. Well, listen, guys, I've got a winning day. I'm down what is it? How many points are on this one? If this thing peaks back up to 67.90, I'm out, but I'm still that's only what, 8 points against me. Yeah, 67.89, something like that. So 7, 8 points. I'm not even gonna let this thing get my 10-point stop. I don't think I need to go there. But I have either way. We had a winning night, and I still think this is going to go down. Not based on only news here. I think we're going to get this 1 minute cross. It's going up here. This is not being very aggressive. We're kind of basing here. We had some strong pressure down. But again, the market can do whatever the market wants to do. I still think this is going to go south. The 920 is a great strategy, guys. If you want to reach me and follow me on Telegram, all my contact information is in the comments. Blaine, it was nice, brother. I'm glad you were on with me all night tonight, and I'm glad you learned a lot. And I will be on at 9 a.m. Eastern time for the New York Open tomorrow. But I hope you have a good night, and I hope if you have any questions, you can email me. If you have not and you're watching, if you can like and subscribe, that would really help me out. I really like other people to try to find this. And take care and have a good night. All right. Take care, Blaine.